Okay, good day, YouTube folks. Just thought I would I'm over here at the big garden today with all the Johnson grass. And I did a video recently, and it was actually a tag follow-up video of good, bad, and ugly. And I guess I could add just a tad bit to that. But so far, peas and okra I cannot grumble about. Can't grumble about the corn either. But I want to show you what we're running into in regards to the excess rain that we've had. And well, let's look right down here just a second. You can see there is rot. And yesterday evening I went ahead and harvested one of my pumpkins because I was afraid that I might lose it, and I'd rather lose a watermelon than to lose a pumpkin. These are not for long-term storage, no way. So, but my plan is today, I want to get in here, get as many of these watermelons out that are good, that I can keep. I want to go on and get them out. And I think the next step, what I may try to do is use get the all-purpose on the 140, and I'll see if I can back up in here. I got to take my fence down and move that, but that's no problem. But back up in here as far as I can and just drag these vines out and use it kind of as a rake and see if I can drag some of this mess out. And I may even take the har and go in here and cut it up a little bit, because I hate seeing this old grass grow in here. I don't like that. But the sweet potatoes are doing good. They look good. And maybe some of you that has grown sweet potatoes can give me a little heads up on this, because I'm not sure. Does the wet weather, could it cause them to rot? Now, I've not seen any evidence, with the leaves on the vines, or they're yellow, or, any kind of issues that would show that they might rot. I know they're pretty resilient plants, but I think we'll know come harvest time on them, which is probably, it's another month and a half, probably something like that, before I'll try to harvest those. But as you can see, I've got a big Moon and Star watermelon right there, and I've got some smaller ones in here. And it looks like maybe one Charleston Gray that's not rotted yet. But like I say, I went ahead and harvested that one pumpkin that was right up there. And I've got several more that are coming on in here. And we've got one vine down at the house that I put out in the edge of the woods, and it's got several pumpkins on it. But one thing I learned this week, and I don't remember who I watched it from, but a guy was talking about putting out pumpkins, that the later you put them out is the better. And I probably planted these pumpkins way too early, so I think next year I may try putting them just a little later if I have any. But just to show you this right here, you see what's going on there. Outside of that fence, the deer have found them, and they're eating them just as hard as they can. So far I've got to give this fence credit. I was watching Sean James's channel last night, My Self-Reliance, And he was speaking of his fence, and he's out in the middle of the wilderness. And he said so far, he said, unless they jump it, his is 7 foot tall. Mine's not that tall. But he said that his is working, so that was encouraging. So, you know, I want to try to hope and believe that it'll still work here. But anyway, that's going to be my plan. I'm going to go ahead and get these melons out of here and just go ahead and end that. And we've got the peas and okra and sweet potatoes, and then this little row of beans. Winds are blowing. I hope it's not a problem. These are called contenders. I've never tried these before. They're supposed to be an heirloom variety, and they're supposed to be just a snap bean. They don't have a string to them. So I'm curious to see, but it looks like they have runners. Curious to see if we can get a crop of them by frost. Would be good, not a crop, but a mess. But we love our green beans around here. I'll show you one other thing I did. I hear a hawk hollering. But it looks like my son was out here the other day. He counted 28 watermelons in here. And I'll guarantee you I'm not going to get no 28 today, just by what I'm seeing. But I think these others, I think I'll put them out, being that the deer want them so bad. We're going to let them eat them. The ones that's rotten. And I don't know what these kind here are. They have got to this size and they've grown no bigger. So they got to be dead ripe. If they ain't, they never will be. And we had a little cantaloupe, but the grass has took it. So I don't think it's gonna make anything. Let me see if I can get out of here and not break my neck or get tangled up in it. But if this is the prize that I wanted to get out. I'll have to go down this way. Need a set of scales. Ain't that pretty? It's a moon and star. That's the biggest one I've seen in a while, folks. Whew. Whenever I was a boy, those watermelons right there is called a Charleston Gray. They were fairly common, real popular. But as I remember, as years went on, they nicknamed them the grocery store watermelon. And I remember in the grocery store, these were the watermelons that you found, but people liked them. And then later, the Crimson Sweet became real popular. Yes, this knife's clean. I wiped it with my socks. But yeah, you can see it's not fully ripe. See, that's the problem. They're rotting before they ripen up. But I'm gonna sample some of it. And I'll probably throw this out somewhere so the deer, being they like them so good, they're gonna have to eat it. But these watermelons were popular back in the 70s, maybe early 80s in the grocery stores. And then as time went on, the Crimson Sweet became popular. I still like the Crimson Sweet. I'll tell you if this one's any good. And then I got another little tidbit of information to share with you on the watermelon. Get the seeds out of it. See, we've got so accustomed to eating watermelons with no seeds, we don't know how to eat them without it. That's why you got to keep a pocket knife handy. I've eaten sweeter, but it's still not bad. About need a spoon. Well, I know this is tormenting y'all. Get all the seeds spit out. But what I wanted to say about this, my grandmother, she was born in 1932, and I've heard her tell about, and her parents, they raised tobacco, which was real common here in North Carolina at one time. Was real, I mean, that was king. But anyway, when she was growing up, they raised tobacco, and she said that they would plant watermelon plants in the tobacco field, which long about this time of year, maybe just a little later than now, when they would be out priming the tobacco, they would have those watermelons, and to save them a trip from having to go get water, they would open one of those watermelons and eat it right there in the middle of the field. So I thought that was kind of interesting. The things that people did back then to survive. But these will quench your thirst in the event. Like I am right now, I don't have a bottle of water with me. But it's not bad. I've eaten sweeter. Okay guys, I hadn't counted them, but this is what I've ended up with. And as you can see, that old big one right there, I'm interested to know what he weighs. And I've got 3 more on the truck, so like I say, I hadn't counted them. But the rotten ones, we have a trail cam that we've got out for the deer and other purposes too. So I'm going to go around and put these out where that's at, and maybe it'll give us something to look at. So anyway, I'm going to get this done, and then we'll get the tractor out here in a little bit and see if we can't get that mess cleaned out of there. Another thing I got to thinking about, these watermelons in here, they start rotting, they can attract rats and mice, and that will lead them getting into my potatoes too. So, you know, I just happened to think about that. So I'm glad, I'm glad I'm getting these out. So anyway, we're gonna see if we can't get this cleaned up. That's one of the reasons I like to keep my field clean. I like to keep it mowed around it and not let weeds just take over, kind of like they have here. That row of tomatoes is looking pitiful, and they need to come out, but I've got that fence right there, so that'll make that a little challenging. I'll just about have to pull them out. But anyway, I'm gonna finish this up, and we're gonna get the tractor and see if we can't clean this up, and maybe I can get that on video. Talk to you later.